morning, everyone, and welcome to Kids First pilot launch here in Council District 6. I'm Nury Martinez, the president of the Los Angeles City Council. 2 years ago, with our partners here today, I began the work on a program to enhance the lives of homeless children and families living in motels. We recognize that there's over 18,000 homeless students in LAUSD, and a very high concentration is right here along the Sepulveda Boulevard in the Northeast San Fernando Valley, here on many of the hotels along the boulevard. We have issues with human trafficking, and we have a task force on human trafficking that's doing great improvements. But living in a motel and in a temporary living condition is a hard way for a kid to live. Children need structure and consistency, and they want to feel comfort and security. Because of the state laws, families have to move out of their units at least, or have their belongings right outside of those units at least every 28 days. And for little kids, that can be a jarring experience. Along with other challenging living conditions here in the motels, this is just not an effective way to raise kids. And you have parents who are working nights and are holding 2 or 3 jobs, or doing the very best they can, but this is really tough for them. As a result, this is why we have the highest rates of truancy, the highest rates of kids in these motels who sometimes miss after more than 50 days of school per year. That puts them behind their classmates and really spins them out of control if we don't figure out a safety net for them. For the next school year, Kids First will work with the families and our partners to create that consistency for these kids. We want to make their lives more predictable, allow them to be more focused in school and realize their talents. And so many of their parents here will tell you that their kids are brilliant. They just need the resources to put them on the right track so that they can move forward, graduate from high school, graduate from college, and escape the poverty that they're trapped in now. And our goal is to end the cycle of poverty that many of these families are trapped in. This is a unique collaboration between my office, the Mayor's Office of Economic Opportunity, LAUSD, and nonprofit service providers such as North Valley Caring Services, LA Family Housing, and New Economics for Women. And on the educational side, we have Schools on Wheels providing tutoring support for our kids. This program is special because it takes organizations that work individually and bring them together in a collaborative effort to provide wraparound services, intensive case management for some of our kids and families. This working group will closely monitor the educational and day-to-day needs of these families and will collectively meet to discuss updates, progress, and needed resources for these kids. We aim to be the glue that will help parents hold their kids together and keep them from slipping between the cracks. And more than ever, we need to make sure that our kids are not slipping through the cracks, particularly during COVID-19. So today I want to thank the kids for being part of Kids First, but I especially want to thank the parents that without them, this program cannot be successful. We are starting with 60 kids enrolled in this program and 101 kids from the 3 different motels in my district, which are the Highland Motel, which is the hotel that we're in now, the Midtown Inn, and the Palm Tree Motel. We are committed to making sure that 101 children have access to technology, tutoring, and academic support that they will need to start the new academic year, especially during virtual learning. We're also committed to ensure that their families receive the basic needs, mental health, financial planning resources, and a host of other services that they need. We are providing all of our students in the motels with portable desks, headphones, and other materials for distance learning. We can make it easier for them to be able to participate in everyday school if we have the tools for them to be successful. It is a challenge for me as a parent, and we're all struggling with distance learning, and I can just imagine a parent who's having to work 2 or 3 jobs and has more than one child to keep them ready and engaged to be able to do the distance learning. It's quite the challenge, and this is why we need to provide all these families with the resources. In-person learning is a dedicated instruction time that provides this hotel in particular, with the 2 other ones, with one-on-one tutoring thanks to Schools on Wheels. Schools on Wheels is going to be providing weekly sessions here for each one of their kids, and they're going to be providing backpacks and school supplies at today's giveaway. I want to thank my good friend Steve Zimmer, who I know did not want to speak today, but I know, where is he? Steve Zimmer from the Mayor's Office of Economic Opportunity, who has been working with me for the last 2 years to make this come to fruition. Steve and I served on LAUSD school board together. We fought the good fight on behalf of kids, and we continue to do that because we have such a commitment to making sure that the neediest among us have the resources that they need to be successful. So thank you, my friend, for being here. You know how much I love you. I also want to thank the mayor and other offices, such as the Office of Economic Opportunity, Megan, Nikki, and Celeste. Thank you all for your dedicated effort to get us here today. I also want to especially thank my staff, Alexis Wesson. I'm not sure if she's here yet, but Alexis has been instrumental in working with other offices to bring this very project to our district and make sure that it's successful. I also want to thank the Los Angeles Public Library for bringing the tote bags and pens and school supplies for our kids today. And I really want to thank this wonderful group of guys, our carpenters from Local 661 who are in the back. They're out of Sylmar. Can we give them a big round of applause for a beautiful job with our kids outdoor learning spaces with these beautiful benches and these mini libraries that they build. This is such a kind and thoughtful gesture, guys. Thank you so much for everything that you've done here today. You can see these kids are loving these little things that you were able to build for them. And with that, I'm going to call the next speaker. With us, we have someone from LAUSD, Angela Chandler. She's with LAUSD Homeless Education. She's a homeless education coordinator, to say a few words.
Watch out.
Thank you very much for having me here and inviting us to be a part of this partnership. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And actually, like Ms. Martinez said, my name is Angela Chandler. I'm actually the coordinator of the LA Unified Homeless Education Program. And this particular project really hits home for me as a student that I went to Sepulveda Junior High. I grew up in this neighborhood. I am very well aware of the different challenges that this particular community faces. And I am a firm believer that education is the access or gateway out of the cycle of poverty. So we want to make sure that our students are attending school, they're engaged, and they're able to get access to the different resources that they need so that we can go ahead and promote their learning. One important thing that we look at with LA Unified is what we're basically targeting is intensive supports that are provided to our students that are experiencing homelessness. And this project allows us that opportunity to outreach, to extend our resources with our partners, and to actually build up capacity within so that we can actually effectively serve the community that we are a part of. And we want to make sure that our parents know that we're here, that we're available to them, and that we are able to provide comprehensive services as they so need it. One thing that's important is that I feel like at this time during this pandemic, we have had a lot of isolation in our families. And now more than ever, we have to make sure that we're outreaching, and that the outreach is intense and it's deliberate because we want to make sure that our students are engaged. Another important thing is that we need to make sure that our families are educated about digital literacy, just basics, and so as a school district, we're outreaching to families on a regular basis through text messaging, through telephone calls, and through emails, so we make sure that our families are connected so they know how to navigate the various learning platforms like Schoology and Google Classrooms and things like that. So this is very important that we not only are connecting our students but our families so that we can make sure that we are engaging them. The students have the access. We refer to it as ACE, which is access, that they have the connectivity that they need so that they can be successful and that they are engaged in their learning process. So I appreciate everyone that's here today and coming together to make sure that the efforts are made public, to the community so that they understand that we're out here and the need. And I always appreciate School on Wheels because Charles and School on Wheels has been very supportive of our students and ensuring that we maintain their stability academically and that they are achieving just like any other student. This is the time that we need to address the achievement gap and, as far as COVID possibly exacerbating that. So I really appreciate you all coming out today to support this endeavor.
Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you. Now I'd like to welcome Manny Flores, the Executive Director of North Valley Caring Services, which provides families with basic needs through their food pantry, their hot meal delivery program, and their child care programs to a lot of our families here at the Highlands. So please welcome Manny.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank Council President Martinez, the Mayor's Office, and everybody from our collaboration that Kids First for being out here, and all of you for devoting some time of your day to such a worthy cause. NVCS has been working with families in motels since 2014. We sort of stumbled upon them during some regular street outreach to our homeless community, and it was a learning process, one in which school wasn't necessarily something we were looking for, but right away we were able to see barriers related to school and attendance and our kids sort of falling through the cracks in that one aspect. 2017, we were really fortunate to meet with Steve Zimmer and Celeste and speak to the councilwoman at the time and really just talk about absenteeism in the district and, kids just falling behind in school. And what we discovered is that for motel families, it's just very difficult to get your child to school. There's usually an underlying trauma that causes the homelessness, one in which you're uprooted from your community, you're placed in a motel, and enrolling your child in school becomes difficult. There are some other pressing needs that you might find are just more important at the time. And then there is that 28 day. The 28 day is something that's very difficult for our families. There are usually other underlying issues that might have to do with relationships, with loss of employment, or something like transportation. So when we began the conversation about how we can come in and formally support these families, it was really amazing to see that the council president, she really understood about those correlating issues and how NVCS, along with partners that have already been mentioned, can come in and really help families to be able to knock down some of those barriers so that they can then concentrate on getting their children to school. Some of those issues are food insecurity. Most of the families are on some sort of assisted income program where food stamps might be gone by the middle of the month. Having a place where they can get food from, somewhere like NVCS, was very important, or an agency like NVCS that comes out and gives food out once or twice a week to the families was very supportive for them. Clothing, workforce development, all of this coming together and wraparound services have really made it to where a family has a chance to now focus and get their children to school. Now with this added collaboration that has so many different aspects to it, I think we have put our children in the best possible place for them to be able to attend school, do well in school, and minimize the trauma that we have mentioned. Again, we're really grateful to be part of this collaboration, and we really feel that it's a collaboration that's only begun. We will need more resources for these families. We would expect that as people find out about homeless families living in motels, that they will want to support this collaboration so that we can provide services to all of the homeless families that are placed in motels. Something like the carpenters, right away they went to work to build some benches. That is awesome. There is a place for everybody in this collaboration, so we hope to hear from you. And once again, thank you to Council President Martinez for all the support she's given us.
And thank you, Manny, for being such an amazing partner and so easy to work with. These families will need permanent affordable housing for a long-term solution. I want to bring up Kimberly Roberts the Director of Interim Housing at LA Family Housing.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Mayor's Office and Council President Nury Martinez for her responsiveness to the needs within Council District 6, especially towards our most at-risk neighbors, like the families right here residing in motels on the Sepulveda corridor. As others have mentioned, this has been an unprecedented year. For the families we serve, the current health crisis is not only an added barrier, but it's just another challenge they have to overcome each and every day. That's why LA Family Housing is very proud to partner with LAUSD, North Valley Caring Services, New Economics for Women, and School on Wheels to provide resources to families to build them up holistically, to create housing stability, and to improve educational outcomes for students residing temporarily in motels. There's no better time than now to work together, to really lean into each organization's strengths, expertise, and compassion for supporting those that need it most. LA Family Housing's ultimate priority is to give families the best possible chance at a stable future through safe, affordable, permanent housing. But we recognize that it's partnerships like this that provide the intensive support needed to support long-term generational change. By securing basic necessities, establishing strong connections to educational resources, and ensuring access to healthcare and employment now, we hope to increase the likelihood that families will avoid the cycle of poverty in the future. It's exciting to know that this program will not only meet each family's immediate needs, but will also have a hand in shaping a future that does not include homelessness. Thank you, Council President, for your commitment to these families.
And now we have Leticia Anduesa, who will speak on behalf of the New Economics for Women. They are focused on the parents and helping them build economic and social mobility through wealth creation, financial literacy, credit building, and more. Welcome, Leticia. You want somebody else to do that?
Losing it, sorry.
Good morning, everyone. We're honored to be here. We're very grateful for the opportunity to be part of this effort. We're thankful to Council President Nury Martinez and the Mayor's Office and all of the other partners. I'll be very brief. I have the shade here under this palm tree, and I see that the sun is not treating everyone else very well. So New Economics for Women, we are an organization, community economic development organization dedicated to affordable housing, economic mobility, supportive services, and schools. And our primary role through this effort is to really form part of an ecosystem that treats quality education, housing, and economic mobility as a fundamental human right. And our primary position is to support families in their financial health. And so as the rest of my colleagues, the partners in this effort, address basic needs, housing, stabilization, our goal and our primary position is to come in and, as Council President Martinez stated, is to work with the families to increase their financial health so that they're able to sustain the progress that they make in their housing and in the quality and access to their child's education. So we're honored to be part of this effort, and we're very thankful to be part of this team. Thank you.
Thank you, Leticia. And lastly, I want to welcome Charles Evans. He's the COO of Schools on Wheels. They're the organization who's going to be offering the tutoring services to the kids here in our motels. So welcome, Charles.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, we're excited to be here. I'm not too big on speeches, but what I'll say is that School on Wheels is the only organization that's dedicated to focusing on the academic support of kids experiencing homelessness. It's a little hard for me to concentrate when you turn around and you see so many kids that need our support right now. You know, children that are experiencing homelessness are 4 times more likely than their peers to actually drop out of school and 9 times more likely to repeat a grade. So our organization and this partnership is extremely important. The collaborative effort of the community to come together and provide academic support and whatever support these kids need to be able to kind of figure out and how to navigate homelessness, we're all here to support those efforts. So in collaboration with the council office, the city of LA, and all of the other wonderful organizations, we're just excited to be here and excited to provide support to these kids. Thanks.
Thank you, Charles. All right, right, well, that concludes our press conference. You're welcome to stay and check out, talk to some of the kids, some of the providers. We're going to be here for a little while, so thank you very much for coming.